Are we living in the ugliest era in history? I'm not the one saying it. Just look around. Before, entire cities were designed to enchant. Facades had depth. Doors were carved. Public squares had intricate benches and light fixtures. Fountains were works of art. Today, almost everything is a box of glass and concrete. It's flat, smooth, and dull. It functions, but it says nothing. For a long time, the front door drew attention with its handmade details, moldings, precise joinery, the feel of its weight, the texture under your hand. These elements revealed something about the home's daily life and the building style of the period. The door marked a pause between the public space and the interior, announcing your arrival. Today, there are also designs where the door takes on another role. In some compositions, it extends vertically, integrating into the facade's volume to create continuity. The focus shifts away from individual details and onto the impression of the whole, how the entrance articulates with the building. These are two different ways of constructing the same gesture, crossing the threshold from outside to in. One highlights the door as a distinct presence. The other dissolves that presence into the whole. What experience do we want to create in the moment of arrival? There's a reason for this difference. It's a philosophy that was lost, one that traded emotion for efficiency. Homes of the past seemed to have soul because they had texture, authenticity, and objects that mattered to people's lives. The design was more intentional. But what exactly do we mean by soul? When we look at past constructions, we see more than just shelter. We see a statement. Every material, every texture, and every handmade detail is like a word in a complex visual language. This language spoke of art, history, and above all, uniqueness. The wooden details and custom finishes were the heart of the design, proof of the craftsmanship and time dedicated to the building. Each house told a story, as if whispering the secrets of those who lived there. In contrast, modernism, which exploded in the 20th century, came to break all of that. Architects like Le Corbusier and Walter Gropius, inspired by the Industrial Revolution, began to see houses as machines for living. Ornamentation became almost a crime. The focus shifted to simplicity, pure geometric forms, and new materials like steel, glass, and concrete. Functionalism became the ideal, suggesting beauty was found in the lack of excess. In doing this, architecture stopped whispering stories and started to value silence. That textured language was exchanged for a grammar of right angles and smooth surfaces. Architectural modernism was born from an urgent need. After 2 world wars, Europe needed to be rebuilt quickly and economically. Ornamentation and meticulous craft became an unviable luxury in the face of the need for mass housing. Efficiency wasn't a philosophical choice. It was a practical necessity. Modern architecture, with its functional design and industrial materials like concrete and steel, offered the solution. It promised clean, accessible homes for everyone, prioritizing function over form. The problem is that this practical solution, born of necessity, gradually became the golden rule of construction. Efficiency went from being a means to becoming the end. The industry embraced standardization and mass production as its main driver. The focus shifted from building a home to producing housing units. It's at this industrial scale, where everything must be replicable and cheap, that the soul became diluted, creating a stark contrast with what came before. The contrast is sharpest when we confront the issue of scale. Consider the facade of an old house. It possesses a human scale and a unique countenance. Something in the proportion and positioning of the windows creates a sense of presence and personality we intuitively connect with. Each house, even when following a style, asserts itself as an individual with its own identity. Now, think of a modern apartment building. What do we see? Repetition. Hundreds of identical windows, identical balconies, identical doors. The building isn't an individual. It's a system, a grid. And each apartment is just a unit in that system, a functional box. This uniformity has an impact on us. Living in a space that is identical to hundreds of others can create a sense of anonymity, a feeling that you are just one of many. Environmental psychology, which studies how places affect us, shows our mood is directly influenced by our homes. Some studies suggest that very plain environments, lacking personality and a connection to nature, can contribute to feelings of stress and sadness. Older architecture, with materials like wood and stone and its unique details, offered many stimuli. Modern architecture, when applied en masse and focused only on economy, can create sensorily poor environments. The problem isn't modernism itself, which can create beautiful and serene places. The issue is when it's used without context, turning buildings into spreadsheets and homes into cells. But this loss of soul doesn't just happen inside the home. It spreads to our streets and neighborhoods. For centuries, cities grew organically. Shops, homes, workshops, and squares mixed, creating vibrant, walkable neighborhoods. Streets weren't just for cars. They were the main place for encounters, for community life. Then came modern urbanism, with zoning laws. With the good intention of organizing cities, planners began to separate everything. Here, only houses. There, only commerce and industry, far away from it all. Cities sprawled. Everyone became dependent on cars, and the sense of community was lost. Streets became noisy, dangerous places, and the life that happened on the sidewalk moved indoors to shopping malls. Modern life often caused us to lose the vibrant social life of old neighborhoods. In response, movements like new urbanism advocate for returning to some of the principles that made old cities so human. They propose mixed-use neighborhoods where you can live, work, and play without going far. They advocate for streets made for people, not just cars, and squares that function as the heart of the community. The idea is simple. A well-designed place improves quality of life. When we admire a historic center, it's not just the beauty of the homes that enchants us, but the intelligence of an urbanism that was designed to connect people. The soul of a place isn't just in the buildings, but in the life that pulses between them. So, are we condemned to live in soulless concrete boxes and functional cities? Only if we continue to accept the role of mere occupants. Modernism tried to dictate how we should live, isolated in our units and rushed in our streets. But the future points to a reclaiming of control. The soul of a place doesn't come from the architect. It comes from the people who inhabit it. Reclaiming the soul is, above all, an act of consciousness. It is a silent refusal to live a standardized life within standardized walls. It means stopping the search outside for trends and starting to look inside for what makes our hearts vibrate. True resistance lies in transforming physical space into a mirror of our inner world. It is also a refusal to use urban space merely as a flow of consumption. Real life happens when we occupy spaces for community life. It means transforming and caring for the city as our meeting place. Perhaps filling the voids with conversation, art, play, and presence. The soul returns when the city stops being a mechanism of efficiency and goes back to being a stage for community. The coldness of concrete cannot withstand the warmth of human connection. To truly occupy the city is to remember that it is not made of buildings or cars, but of people living together. It might seem utopian or even too romantic to think this way, but shifting the perspective to understand that spaces exist by us and for us is how we, little by little, take back control. After all, a home and a city are more than just shelter. They are a manifesto for how we should live.